Well, the facts that we allegedly part of why we went to war was because Iraq was a bastion of terrorism. No, it was the bastion of an authoritarian dictator that murdered hundreds of thousands of his own people and who kept an iron grip on it, but it was not at that point a sanctuary for terrorists. But now Iraq has become one. Last year we started a surge, this administration. I did not think it would succeed. It has had some benefits on the ground in terms of quieting certain areas, seriously damaging Al-Qaeda in Iraq, reducing the levels of violence in certain areas, but it's still an incredibly dangerous place. And the whole premise of the surge which was to create a political atmosphere where the Iraqis could come together, Sunni, Shiite, and Kurd, and create a governance system that put the interests of the country ahead of the sectarian interests of their groups is not happening the way it needs to be happening. My guess is, my belief is that this war will continue with a modest reduction from the surge levels to the pre-surge levels between now and near the end of the year. The Congress will continue they will not cut the funding from the troops who are there, but the next administration, depending on who's elected, will seriously reduce our presence pretty quickly. But don't think that everybody will be out within 6 months of a new administration. And of course, it depends on who's elected, because the candidates have fundamentally different positions on this issue. Part of your thinking about how we move ahead is based on what you think our national security threats are in terms of radical Islamic jihadists. I think there's a serious national security threat from these forces. And to what extent is what we're doing in Iraq combating that or helping to exacerbate the problems there? Right now, on the basis of what's happened so far, I think we've turned much of the world against us, and we know now that international public opinion, to the extent it is against us, makes it more difficult to achieve even very legitimate goals, because it makes governance of people in these countries less willing to work with us because they become so unpopular in their own countries. And I would think starting next year, if a Democrat wins the White House, you'll see a fundamental change in Iraq, but it will not be an immediate total withdrawal. It will be a serious reduction in forces, and there'll be certain missions and certain places where our forces will continue to remain in counterterrorism work and training work and in other areas.